welcome back to Vlogmas Small Business Grant Edition, where we are doing 25 grants in 25 days. And this grant opportunity, y'all, we normally have grants where you only can apply once, you only can win once, but no, this grantor is allowing you to apply for this money as many times as you need to, but there is a lifetime cap. This grant opportunity is for $7,500, which is the cap. The average that they give out is $1,300. And guess what, y'all? This is also our first hardship loan. We've had loans where hardship was part of the requirement, but this is the main requirement, is that it is to solve a hardship, and you can apply multiple times for different hardships, okay? So if you have a hardship 2 years from now and you get the money today, you are still potentially eligible to get access to this free money that you do not have to pay back. Now, if you're new to the channel, welcome. I am Ebony, a licensed attorney out of the state of Missouri, and on this channel, we focus on grants, legal tips, and setting a foundation for your business to get you to generational wealth, because yes, money is good, but we want our money to serve generation after generation after generation. Check out the small business grant playlist. There are several opportunities listed there. I post no deadline grants. I post no business needed grants. I post state specific, industry specific, and now we have Vlogmas, okay, y'all? And I have 2 books. I have the first book, if you're like, I don't want to do too much work, I just want to read it. This is going to be packed with content only, talking about all things grant related. The second book is going to be a workbook. And this is if you're like, you're more interactive, you want to do more than just read. It's going to have fill in the blanks. It's going to have quizzes. It's going to have sample answers. These books are going to help you figure out what to do if you get the grant, if you don't get the grant, applying for the grant, where to find grants. This is going to put you ahead of the competition. And if you're on the fence, there's going to be a link in the description to the website where you can see the 5-star reviews. So then you can make a more informed decision. If you would like to further support the channel so I can continue to provide these resources free of charge on YouTube, come on over to the Patreon. I'm going to quickly share my screen so you can see what's in there in case you want to join. Here's the Patreon. Yes, information is locked. However, once you become a member, the information will be unlocked. I post different grants in here. I post cohorts. As you can see, this was a $15,000 grant that was posted. We had an accelerator that was posted. I post articles in here. I post anything that I think will be helpful for you while you're on your entrepreneurship journey. Now, we don't want to stay over there too long because we're trying to figure out how can I get access to this money and I can apply for this grant multiple times. Yes, you can apply multiple times as long as you are experiencing a hardship. Now, before we get into the grant, y'all, leave a comment. Let me know where you're watching from, what type of business you have. So what city, state, industry, all of that good jazz, because I am pulling from the comments, and considering we're doing 25 grants, 25 days, there is a probability that I would then find a grant that is in your city, state, and or industry. Now this grant, y'all, one of the other requirements is that you must have a child that is under the age of 18 that is currently living with you, or someone, if they are over 18, that is your child, that they do have a medical necessity to still live within your home. That's going to be a part of the requirements to prove that there is a hardship. But then also, when you are talking about a hardship, the hardship can be associated not with just yourself, but it can be associated with your spouse or your child. And specifically when they're thinking about a hardship, they're thinking about a medical hardship. They're thinking about if you were affected by a natural disaster, if you were affected by fire in your home. So they are really looking for individuals that are experiencing, and I'm going to say extreme hardship. So it can't be that you've been laid off from your job. It can't be that you've been fired. It can't even be that you're experiencing homelessness. But with all of these no, it can't be's, there are exceptions to these. And the exceptions is going to be based off of what they analyze. So they will say you can apply, but they do have a grant committee that will then look at your hardship. And if they have to ask you additional questions related to your hardship, then they will reach out to you for that. You will have to provide to them some documentation with your application. One of the things that you will have to provide is that birth certificate for the child that is currently living in your home, basically to prove that you are, in fact, their parent. They will need your government ID as well as a pay stub if you are currently working. But again, this hardship does not have to be attached to just yourself. And remember, this grant opportunity is for a lifetime cap of $7,500, and the average dollar amount that they give out is $1,300. They have also committed to responding to applicants within 2 weeks. So once you put in your application, you will have, I'm going to say it's a case manager. Yes, you're going to have a case manager that reaches out to you. They're going to do an interview with you to gather more information. And then within 2 weeks, they will let you know if either they need more information or if you have been granted the grant. And then from that point, it could take up to 30 days for the funds to be dispersed. And the reason that it takes 30 days is they're still using snail mail. So once you get approved, they are going to mail you a document. It said mail, hopefully they meant email, but it said mail you a document that you're going to have to return so they can know where we put in this money, which I presume will be your bank account information that they are going to ask you for. And then they're going to disperse the money to you. And as I say in every video, or mostly every video, please do not ask for more than what you need, because they are going to be asking for additional documentation to do proper due diligence. So if it's for a light bill and your light bill is only a couple $100, don't ask them for $1,000, because that could potentially get you access to $0. And they are going to do a lot of research to make sure. But just remember that you have access to $7,500 throughout your lifetime. So only ask for what you need. And remember, grants are taxable income. So even though you are experiencing a hardship, depending on the dollar amount that you get, please make sure that you're setting aside a certain amount for Uncle Sam, because he's just in our pockets. And I would not want you to experience a double hardship because you're filing your taxes and then there's this tax liability that you are not able to pay. So again, don't forget to leave that comment. Let me know where you're watching from, city, state, industry, as far as your business, so I can possibly find a grant for you that will show up in our Vlogmas edition of 25 grants, 25 days for small businesses and nonprofits. There are going to be videos for nonprofits as well. With that, y'all, let's look at this grant. All right, y'all. This grant is sponsored by CORE, and it is a nonprofit organization that is dedicated to providing support to the food and beverage service industry. This is one of our state-specific grants, but this is an expanded grant opportunity as far as how they are defining the food and beverage industry. As I say in most of these videos, if this is a grant that you are not eligible to apply for, please share this with someone that could utilize up to $7,500 throughout their lifetime for hardships that they are currently experiencing. And then once you get here, we are going to click apply so we can look at the eligibility requirements in more detail. Now, when we talk about the food and beverage industry, specifically hotel, bar, dining and room service, concessions, cafeteria, dining hall, quick service, fine dining, casual dining, fast casual, a bar, caterers, as well as a food truck. What they excluded is if you do DoorDash. They said DoorDash and food delivery drivers that are working for a third party, because you're considered an independent contractor, you are not eligible to apply for this small business grant opportunity. But there are several grants in the small business grant playlist. So go there, check out all of the other Vlogmas videos. So there's plenty of opportunities if this one does not fit for you and your business, industry, and or hardship experience. But then you also, as I said at the top of the video, you must have a legally dependent child under the age of 18 or a medically dependent child with documentation living within your home. And then you must have a qualifying circumstance within the last 90 days. So unfortunately, if your hardship is over 90 days, you're not eligible for this small business grant opportunity. And then list of qualifying circumstances, significant medical diagnosis or injury requiring current and or ongoing treatment of the food and beverage service worker, their spouse, domestic partner, or their child. Death of the food and beverage service worker, their spouse, domestic partner, or the food and beverage service worker's child. Loss of employment or home due to a natural disaster. Loss of employment or home due to a fire unrelated to a natural disaster, and then documented domestic violence or abuse. And then they list several things that's not eligible, and I recommend that you read all of those. We're going to go ahead and apply for this grant. Well, we're not going to apply. We're just going to hit apply because I am not going to create an account, but let's do that. Okay, so that's bringing us to more information about the process, but I do want to scroll down so we can look at what they actually cover as far as expenses, because that is critical. They will cover rent or mortgage, utilities such as electric, gas, water, and sewer. But remember, it said they couldn't be disconnected. Funeral expenses, including travel to out-of-town funerals, medical bills or supplies, therapy sessions or equipment, hospital expenses for family, travel, hotel stays, food, gas, etc., and then other child needs such as diapers, formula, etc., and then child care costs. And then they have the reapplication policy, which I think is important for you to look at. May only reapply for core assistance when 12 full months have passed since the previous award date. Remember, we talked about at the top of the video where this is one grant where you can apply if you've already won. $7,500 is the lifetime. However, there is a 1-year waiting period for you to then be eligible to apply again for this grant opportunity. And then after that, you're going to hit submit and then you're going to wait. But gratefully, this is only a 30-day process in order for you to be notified if you're eligible for this grant and if they're going to disperse those funds to you, versus previous grants can take months in order for you to get a response from the grantor. You're going to leave me that comment. Let me know that you have been awarded those funds. We're going to celebrate because you're going to get that much closer to generational wealth and that much further away from the hardship that you are currently experiencing. But y'all, check out the ebook, check out the workbook, check out the Patreon, like, share, comment, all that good jazz, so I can potentially find a grant for you in your city, state, and or industry. Check out the previous Vlogmas videos. Turn on that bell so you can be notified of the future grants that'll be coming out daily for 25 days of 25 grants. But I want to thank you. I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to spend with me virtually. I want to thank you for supporting the channel, and wherever you are in the world, I hope that you're having a beautiful day, and I will see y'all next time.